Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we are back with another recording of Hearthstone. Now, eagle-eyed players will notice that I reset the game in between this recording and the last because the bug that had the gold down here at the bottom, halfway off the screen, has been reset. We're at 5,720, but we need to buy our arena thing. I forgot to do that last time. So we're set for next arena run in 2 recording sessions. Next recording session we'll do Tavern Brawl, hopefully, and then arena. So we just need to work on our quest today. Paladin games, and Paladin games until we get 2 Paladin victories, and then we need to cast spells, so we might need to play as something else, like maybe the priest. I'm pressed for time, as always, so I'm just gonna play as casual. Got up to rank 19. I think it would be kind of hard to get up to rank 18 for every month. I think it's doable. In a lot of ways, I really kind of feel like the way people get up in the rank is not through skill. Really, I don't think it is. I think it's just through broad and sheer determination. I really feel like that a lot of people just play a ton of Hearthstone, and by playing and getting that 51% victories, 51% of the time they win, I think just by doing that, they manage to they manage to make it work so that they get up in the ranks. I know that the people that are up there in legendary rank are playing on Twitch non-stop. It seems like most of them. It's probably not true. That's probably not true, but it seems like that. Speaking of Twitch, I wanted to say this story. This was weird and slightly strange and creepy. So I have been getting into watching people play pinball on Twitch as I've been watching people play Hearthstone on Twitch in the middle of the night when I'm supposed to be going to sleep. And so I get on this pinball feed, and the guy is not really playing pinball when I start. He's sitting there telling a story, which is not the reason I came there, but not really relevant either. But then he turns and looks at the screen, and then he goes, "Hi, Rydo of all," and he's just saying hi to everybody that starts to watch his stream because he's got so few people watching. And this is the nasty truth of Twitch, is that at the very least when you're doing YouTube, and this is just my personal opinion, but when you're doing YouTube, you put a video up permanently, and in theory, at least, that video over a decade's time would be seen by hundreds, if not thousands of people. When you do a Twitch stream, it's just live, so in the middle of the night, streaming, he's like, not that many people's watching. And he just said hi to me, and I'm like, one, I didn't know you could instantly know, because I didn't type in a chat or anything, and that you could know all the people, because I was lurking. I'm mostly a lurker, as it is. I don't want to get in chat and interact. And he just straight up calls me out and is like, "Hey, how's it going? Thanks for joining the stream." And I'm like, wow, that is a strange experience for me. So which one of these do I want to kill? I guess I'll kill that one. Job's done. So I watched him for a little bit longer, and I typed something in his chat because all his digital web cameras were set to auto brightness, but he had done a modification that pinball players like to do. They put like super bright LED lights in under the to replace the original lights of pinball tables. And when you're in person and you look at it, it usually looks awesome. It is super cool. It doesn't really translate as well as you would think when you see it on screen. But it also really doesn't help when you have your camera set to auto brightness, because what happens is as he's not playing the game and it's cycling through all the lights and being flashy, trying to catch potential players' attention, like a pinball game is programmed to do, it will flash all of them in certain sequences, and that makes it really, really bright on the camera. So what the cameras in automatic brightness mode do is they turn everything way down as far as the brightness that way, which means all the color is darker and harder to see, and it drastically changes the color, temperature, and the color and the rip. So a great example of this was his walls were white, and they were nice, clean, white painted walls, but every time the lights flashed, it would turn the brightness down, and they would go to a dark, almost reddish cranberry color. And then once the flash was gone, the auto brightness would slowly turn it back up, and you could see clearly the color of the walls go back to being white. Now the color on the walls aren't actually changing, it just looks that way. So I put a thing on there, it's like, you need to mess with your cameras, and I can't tell him exactly how to mess with his cameras, although I could see one of them was the Logitech, so I would assume if you go into the Logitech software, you can turn on manual brightness. And what you would want to do is you would want to have your pinball game completely off, and just completely off, not producing any light. Adjust the brightness so you can see all of the artwork and everything as it is there, and adjust the brightness slider to that so you can get the colors represented properly, or at least how you like them, and then turn the pinball on and let the lights just blind. What they're gonna do is they're gonna just lens flare when they flash, but that's pretty much it. You might also adjust the contrast, which is the brightness of the black colors, the dark colors, mostly black, but you adjust the contrast and the brightness in that way. But you set it to manual so it doesn't sit there and adjust back and forth. So yeah, if you're gonna record things with flashing lights in it, you set it to manual brightness if you can. If I don't know, it's very possible that the Logitech cameras he was using, which looked like they weren't super special, they weren't like high video equipment or anything. No DSLRs, no Red 1 cameras or anything crazy like that. It's possible they don't even have manual brightness settings in their software. So, but I would recommend then he start thinking about getting better equipment that could adjust that, because that is going to be a major issue. But he also has a YouTube person, this person, I'm not going to say it, he's been on YouTube for many years, and he has like 15 subscribers, and I already have 51. Part of that is because he's only seems to have recently started doing the pinball thing on Twitch and then uploading things to YouTube later, and he seems to only do it once a week, so I heavily suspect that he has another job, because there's not enough there. Also, pinball is niche. It is really, really niche. So, it's not surprising that even if all things were equal, that him just doing pinball would get him a mere fraction of what a regular YouTuber doing video games would do. Do I want to do this, or do I want to do this? Let's go ahead and do this. Because it doesn't look like I'm going to beat that guy this turn.
Embrace the void.
Take this. Oh, found the way. Found the way to take them all out. Interesting.
For justice!
Job's done.
There we go. But also, I would say don't read out people's names.
Pass me that arc light spanner.
I kind of assumed that you could do that, or I guess I hadn't really thought about it, that you could see everybody that's watching you on Twitch. That's not something you can really do in YouTube. I don't have like a record I could go back to and see all the people who see. I'm sure YouTube itself has that ability, but they don't share that information with me. For good reason. Last thing you would want to know, have is thousands of people on YouTube trying to hunt down people who have actually watched their videos so they could advertise to them or communicate with them in a method that the YouTube viewer didn't agree to or particularly want. But yeah, that was spooky. I'll also say that as far as his YouTube thing is, like, I came in his video, he wasn't playing pinball. He didn't play pinball for probably 7 to 10 minutes until after I started watching. He walked away from the camera at least once or twice. In the middle of a multi-ball, he looked at the screen because somebody followed him and wanted to say thanks for following. So he's like so focused on the chat. He was really focused on trying to get chat, trying to get communication up, which honestly he kind of felt like he was just a little lonely. I don't want to be cruel, but he really felt like he was just kind of lonely, and that's why he was doing this whole thing, is he wanted people to talk to, which...
Give that minion a turn to get ready.
That's not going to be the best thing in the world. That's not going to work
The battle!
as far as doing YouTube or Twitch. It is mostly a solo experience. Oh, do I want to bring out the hungry crab? I mean, in theory...
Well played.
In theory, I guess I do.
Job's done.
So yeah, he was super focused on chat. In the middle of a multi-ball, he turns away from the game. He doesn't even trap the ball, like hold the balls in the flipper to turn away. Yes, ball saver was on when he turned away, so he ate the ball back, but still, you're not focusing 100% on the game. In fact, as kind of a pinball fanatic that I might call myself, he kind of disrespected the art of pinball, which is super snobby to say, but other people were saying that too. It's like, man, we want to see good pinball play, and he was playing the Simpsons stable, which I wasn't that interested in, and he was talking about the mods he did on it, so that means I don't even know if how different
Reporting for duty.
his table is versus a standard Simpsons table. But yeah, it wasn't a very interesting table to me. He had on his YouTube thing like footage of him playing Twilight Zone with no audio, and the game went 1 minute and 20 seconds. So he didn't even really try, I guess. Or maybe there was something broken with that pinball. I mean, that was one of his very first videos, but wow. I mean, that's not a good video there. Get your camera set up. Get a good playthrough of Twilight Zone. Twilight Zone is one of the most popular, best pinballs, arguably. It's not even argued that much. And to see it play for a minute and 20, no dialogue, didn't look, maybe not even any audio. I don't think there was audio in it at all. It was rather disappointing. The guy said he had 5 pinball tables, which is a pretty good pinball collection. That you're talking somewhere around $10,000 worth of pinball before you start talking about repairs and modifications, which might add even more. I would take his Twilight Zone pinball any day of the week. I'd put that in there. I would love to have a pinball game. Would I record myself playing it on YouTube? Probably not. But, and yes, it's a lot of work, and yes, I'd have to be getting a pinball table is like getting a puppy. You gotta maintain it. Although, if I got one in good shape, maybe I would get lucky.
The supreme archaeologist.
Let's see. Do the mummy zombies have charge? No, so I'll take that.
The light shall burn you.
I think I've lost. So maybe I wouldn't play it that much, and if it started off in good shape, maybe it would probably stay in good shape, being in a mostly humidity controlled house, temperature controlled, and just sitting there. I think I could maintain it fine. Let's play again. All we're doing is Paladin today. But just back to the core of it, as if you're going to be a new YouTuber of any sense, like him, he seems to be a new Twitch streamer / YouTuber, whatever. It's the same thing. The very first thing you gotta do is you gotta be good play, and you gotta be consistent. Nobody's gonna want to watch anybody play a game if they're not playing well, and if they're not playing consistently. One video a week, I don't believe, is enough. That's not how people on YouTube work. I just don't think it is. People on YouTube are crazy. They want to watch more and more and more all the time. And I believe that to the level that, there we go, we need to place, that fixes that problem. So we need to play some more spells, so we'll play the mage. Why not? Just play the mage. In fact, it doesn't even really matter, so we'll play ranked mage, because we'll still have opportunities to play spells that way. Just need to so I believe, I hope that things I've done in 2015 are gonna come back, and people are gonna say, you know what, I want to go watch this guy once they learn to love Rydo. Once they've learned to love me, they're gonna say, you know what? I want to go back and watch this guy play this old game that I've seen other people play. Like The Walking Dead is a great example of this. You could still today watch people play The Walking Dead, but if you want to see how I did it, you have to come to my channel instead of just searching that game on Twitch. And I hope that's the case. I hope that it isn't the situation where
Hello.
Where all the videos I made in 2015 have got all the views they're ever gonna get, and that's just how it's gonna be. But that would be kind of sad. I would hope that some of that grows, but maybe it doesn't. I don't know. It's hard to tell, if not maybe impossible to tell. If you have a minion with spell damage +1, do I have a minion with spell damage +1? No. Well, I can play this guy though.
Knowledge is power, and I know a lot.
So, but yeah, if you're gonna start a YouTube channel, you're gonna make a lot of videos. You need to make a lot of videos in which you're just gonna be talking to yourself, and that's gonna be it. YouTube, Twitch gaming, it's not really a social thing. Twitch is somewhat more social, where you sit there and talk to the chat. When you are big, when you are that top 1% of Twitch streamers, when people who watch Twitch know who you are and want to go actually follow you, that is how it gets. But that's when you have a fan base that you communicate with a fan base. When you don't have a fan base, you're gonna get a ton of lurkers, a ton of people who just want to see footage of this game and are giving it a chance, but they don't have anything nice to say about you yet. They don't know who you are. So they're not going to come in there and really even want to talk to you. Think of it as a grocery store. If I walk into a grocery store and I see a random stranger, am I going to want to go talk to them? Let's say that random stranger is doing something interesting now. Am I going to go talk to them about that interesting thing they're doing? Let's say they're juggling in the store, just for no reason. They're juggling cans of peas. Am I going to go talk to them? No, because that's a little weird, but let's say, am I going to go talk to him because I see him juggle the cans of peas the first time? No. Let's say it has been the 5th time over the course of a month I have gone to the grocery store. And I go to the grocery store too often. But every time I'm there, I see this guy, and he's always juggling cans of peas in the grocery store while he's shopping. By the 5th time, I feel like I've kind of known this guy. He's seen me. I've seen him. At that point, I might say something. But not a second before that. And maybe this is a tortured metaphor or whatever, but that's kind of where it is that. At the beginning of Twitch streaming, at the beginning of YouTube, people just aren't going to talk to you. In comparison, if tons of people friended me on Battle.net and they tried to talk to me while I was recording, am I going to talk to them? No. Personally, I just find it a distraction. I just think that lowers my quality of gameplay, which is already lowered quite a bit here. Let's face it, just the fact that I'm sitting here talking right now is lowering my attention span quite a lot. And so I'm not looking. Here we go. Time for the flame strike.
I am ready.
So the last thing I would want to do is lower my attention span more. That would make these recordings take longer, and by the recordings taking longer, that would mean I get less footage made, which would mean I would put out less videos, which would mean I probably would have less people watching my videos. I put out too many videos, I will certainly agree to that, but that's a mistake I've made and caused myself. Let's see. Just trying to play spells here.
Job done.
So I'll try to keep myself alive long enough to do that.
Magic detected.
I guess personally too, I am like the worst person to say what I'm about to say, because I never go out and hang out with friends or anything like this.
Know a lot.
But if you are lonely and sad and want to talk to people, not sad, we'll leave sad off the table. But if you're lonely and want to talk to people, doing a YouTube or Twitch stream is not the solution. It is a false solution, in my opinion, that's not going to get you where you want to get. And I will say that I am not particularly a lonely person who wants to deal with people. I am a loner person who doesn't want to deal with people. And there's a big difference there. I actively choose not to go out and hang with people and talk with people. So that somewhat helps me, I would say, in this career path. This guy that I was watching, he needs to see if he could, if he wants his friends to like pinball, could see if he can get to a pinball league somewhere, and he probably is already in one, or figure out if he can hang around. You used to be able to do bowling alleys and arcades, and fun centers is what they're called now. A lot of times, see if you can hang around those. This guy's pretty old, so maybe that would be inappropriate or creepy to do that, but things like that. Get to the root of the problem. You're not gonna be able to gain long-term actual friends on YouTube or Twitch, because those people are just gonna, viewers are gonna come and go. It's just the way it works. There we go. Victory. Wasn't really going for victory, but okay. And judging by his age, he looks like an adult, and that inherently is the problem for all adults. Once you get out of college age, I shouldn't be playing here, it is incredibly difficult. We're going to just wrap up instead to find ways of new people. Pretty much the only place where you'll meet somewhat new people is going to sporting events where people don't want to talk to you, or churching events where people will talk to you, and that's kind of it. I mean, you could go to political events and talk to political things if you're super political, but it's probably not going to be fun for most people. But in general, adults have no place where they congregate. You have work friends, and that's the best you can get. Somebody new at work, and then you end up working with them, so you don't want to go out hanging with them, and it's a terrible idea anyways if you do that. You really want to keep that separated completely. So yeah, I feel his plight. I understand what he's trying to do. I just don't think he's going to accomplish it doing that way. So if he wants to continue making his pinball channel, I think he needs to focus on the pinball and not the chat. Anywho, that's it for this recording. It's been a weird one, I guess. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos. All of that helps me out. If you want to support me, you can click on my name, Rydo. On the right will be a blue button that says support this channel. Click it and make a donation. And if you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.